Hey guys, today we'll dive right into the world of seafood with these beautiful curried pan-seared scallops served with a sweet and spicy mango guacamole. Let's not waste any more time. Let's get into it. Now before I do anything with these mangoes, I have to take a bite in the traditional family way by cutting out a perfect hemisphere with a spoon. Trust me, eating it like that, it's so much fun. It's the first time I've been able to find sweet mango, and they're actually called Kent mangoes, which is a first for me, and it does remind me of the great mangoes we get in India. Now these mangoes are going to be used to make a delicious mango guacamole. So you don't have to cut it. I'm at the end of the day going to peel it, but I just wanted to look at the inside because it's been a long time since I bought mangoes and I was pretty nervous it's going to be ripe. So once you've peeled your mangoes, just cut them into strips, and ultimately we will be chopping up all of our mangoes into a small dice. Do the same with all of your mangoes. We're actually only going to be using about a quarter to a third cup in the guac, but the rest for me is snack because it's been a long time since I've had a mango. Now for the guacamole part, I'm going to cut some avocados. I'm going to cut them into quarters, and that's a great trick to cut an avocado in the most safe way. You can go as slow as you want and just rotate the avocado while you cut with the help of the seed. Now when you just twist it, you'll see how the avocado just separates, and now all you have to do is peel that avocado and you'll have that beautiful flesh. Now if you get lucky, you'll get a beautiful green avocado like this, but there have been so many times where I don't get one that's as green as this, but it's still going to taste great. Now just transfer your avocados into your KitchenAid mixer or a large bowl, and now we'll just start mashing away at our avocados. Then add in some of your onions in there, some of your green chilies, your garlic, and then start adding in your diced mangoes as well. Now you can always adjust how much mango you want. You can always add more if you feel like once you've tasted it, but you cannot take it out, so be careful. Now add in all of your chopped cilantro, then some fresh lime juice. Lemon can work, but lime juice is always a little bit better. And then finally season with some of your pepper and salt. The secret to a good guacamole is the amount of pepper you use compared to the amount of salt. If you taste it and you don't quite get the taste you're looking for, try adding a bit more pepper than a bit more salt when you're adjusting your seasoning. And then just give this all a final mix to combine all those seasonings together. And once it's all mixed together, you'll get a beautiful looking mango guacamole just like this. So let's set that guacamole aside. I know it's irresistible, but we'll get to it in just a few minutes. Let's make a quick homemade curry powder, which of course you can use in more dishes than just scallops. So add some ground coriander, ground cumin, some turmeric, garlic powder, ginger powder, some cinnamon, ground fennel, cayenne powder, ground clove, and that's it. And here is my favorite mixture of curry powder, and I think this combination just is fragrant and delicious and can be used for anything. Now just give this all a good mix and make sure to store it in an airtight container to really increase the longevity. Now this may blow your mind if you didn't know this already, but curry powder is not actually Indian. I never even heard of curry powder until I came to North America, and you probably won't find it at most Indian stores in India. Most people believe that curry powder was actually sold to British traders by Indian merchants back in the 18th century, and it was intended to replicate the flavors of a traditional Indian sauce. It is very similar to garam masala, but it just has a different blend of spices, and it was actually used in some of the earliest recipe books in the 18th century in British cooking when they were trying to make Indian inspired foods. And now let's get into the main event of this recipe, the scallops. And today I'm using some sea scallops. Now start by placing all of your scallops on some paper towel to get some of that excess moisture out. In most cases, if you don't live where you get fresh scallops, you'll probably get defrosted scallops. Patting them dry really helps make sure that there's no excess moisture on those scallops, so that when you put your scallops onto that hot pan, it's gonna get that nice golden brown sear that we're looking for. Any excess moisture would just fight against the color and the sear we're looking for. Now, patting your scallops dry also will help the seasoning, the curry powder, to stick better onto the scallop, so when you sear it, it's going to go deeper within that scallop. Now make sure you season both sides of the scallop with the curry powder and the salt, and do the same with all of your scallop portions. And if your scallops were in the fridge before you start cooking, just make sure you let them sit at room temperature for at least 20 to 30 minutes to get them up to temperature, and that's gonna help speed up the cooking process, help you get a nice sear, and make sure the insides are cooked as well. Okay, so now let's head over to our pan. My pan's been heating on medium-high heat with a thin film of olive oil. That's really gonna help us give those scallops a nice golden brown sear. Start adding in your scallops and make sure you don't overcrowd the pan, and really make sure that the pan is sizzling the moment you add that first scallop. If it's not hot enough, just take that scallop out and wait until the oil is hot. After about 1.5 to 2 minutes, start turning your scallops. And I'm gonna use a spoon because you have so much more control, but use whatever you prefer. Now, you wanna cook and get the other side of the scallops a nice crust, just like you see on the top side right now. Now, scallops are my pesky protein for the Live to Cook 2022 collab, because I've always been intimidated by it because it cooks so quickly, it has to be perfect, and they are kind of expensive, so I didn't want to make it when I was not ready, and I felt like I was kind of pushed to make it this time. In most cases, when the scallops have a golden brown color on the top and the bottom, it is cooked inside. But what you can try is try poking it, and if it feels like jello, it has a spring back. Or if you take a fork and you try to poke it lightly and it has a spring back, it's ready. Or if it cuts easily with a knife, then it's ready as well. It should be opaque inside, and while you can eat raw scallops, or if it's a bit undercooked, it really depends on how good the quality of your scallops are. And if you don't know the source, I would stay away, and I would cook it a bit more if you're really unsure. Now, once your scallops are done, take them out all at once on a plate or baking sheet lined with some paper towels. Now, if you've seen a minute of Hell's Kitchen, you know why I took those scallops out in one smooth move instead of taking it out one by one. By doing that, you're just risking overcooking your scallops and turning them into rubber. And this is my favorite part. It's time to unravel that mango guacamole and put that sweet and spicy concoction onto the middle of your plate to let it shine with these scallops all around, juicy inside, spicy on the top. And then I'm just gonna top off that guac with some fresh tomatoes for that extra zing. So I want to see all of your pesky proteins, so be sure to enter the collab and submit your recipes before 5 p.m. on Sunday. And if you want to plan ahead for the remaining 2 themes for this month's worth of collab, then be sure to download the full guide and workbook for the Live to Cook challenge. I'll link that down below so you can find that easily. Share this recipe with somebody who wants to make the perfect scallops at home, and for more fun seafood recipes, click the links over here.